So this is one of my poster cars. When this one popped up on auction, I just couldn't help myself. It's a lot of fun. They perfected the Viper. Cameraman doesn't approve. I darn near say my favorite car I've ever owned. Hey everyone, and welcome back to DCMotorWerks. My name is Cameron, and this is my new car. This is my 2005 Dodge Viper SRT-10. As you may know, I am a millennial, a product of the 90s. So this is one of my poster cars, and I bought one. If you remember a few months back, Andy and I bought the Lamborghini, and we just recently sold it. And I sold a bunch of other cars at the same time, just in the last few weeks, months, or whatever. And I was down to just a couple cars. So I decided to buy one of my dream cars, because as a car guy, you never just have one dream car. If you've watched the channel for a while, you'll also know that I am a big Mopar guy. Mopar or no car, as they say. And this is like the peak Mopar. We've done some other Viper stuff here at the shop, and I absolutely adore them. But the third gen has always been, you know, the third, fourth gen, they call them. I don't know why Viper does that. There's like the first and second gen, which are technically like first gen and first gen facelift. And same with the 3 and 4, it's third gen and third gen facelift, but I digress. Third and fourth are my go-to. The Verts, because I love the top down. And when this one popped up on auction, I just couldn't help myself. It really is a beautiful spec. And I wouldn't have normally gone for silver, but I think the silver and blue just looks beautiful. And whoever had it before me, did it in the accents as well on the badging and so forth. So really a beautiful spec overall. And the only thing I think I'd really fuss about is I like the more like BBS style wheel, the kind of multi-spoke one they did, but these do look great. And it has brand new Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on it. So one of the best tires in the business, and they are brand new. These ones are monsters in the rear, 355 rear section tires. So just an absolute monster. And the shape, you know, just it's got the old hot rod look hiked up in the rear. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. I would love to have the top down, but when we go for a drive, it does get a little noisy. Although this is kind of what you want out of this, and it does make the noises. It makes all the noises that I want. This one was a great deal. It has some miles on it for like an exotic car. Yes, Vipers are an exotic car. Fight me in the comments if you want. I got it with 51,000 miles, just over 51,000. And I've already put, I think, like 600 miles on it. I've had it for a few weeks, and I have been driving it everywhere, as you should. You know, don't be afraid to drive them. And I know people give me funny looks, especially when I'm like driving it in the cold and rain, but the heater works great. And contrary to popular belief, these are not as scary as they seem. They are not as easy to break loose, and they're not as untamed. While they still can be, you know, you got the big monster 8.3 liter V10 up front, 505 horsepower or so, and all the torque, just all the torque. Still in true Viper fashion, the hood release is in the bumper. So just anyone can come up and open up your Viper. This is a departure from the first and second gen, and that it doesn't have the clamshell hood anymore. It has a normal hood, but that is part of the appeal to this to me. It is easier to work on. They're still just as raw and crazy as the early cars, you know, no driver aids or anything like that. Still the same monster V10, but it's just that much more civilized, just enough, you know, to give you those modern creature comforts, you know, like windows that go up and down, and a top that opens and closes, just unheard of things. But these have it. You know, you can see someone has even gone through here and made this look very nice. This is pretty much how it showed up. It has nice, soft, freshly waxed paint, and everything in here is super tidy. The only thing I kind of had to do was some pulleys and a belt on the front end because it was chirping a little bit. But other than that, it just showed up, and I started driving it everywhere. It had clean oil in it. It was actually traded into Lamborghini Houston. So I guess they decided to go from somewhat of a Lamborghini to the full-on Lamborghini, because for those of you unfamiliar, that Chrysler owned Lamborghini back in the 80s and 90s, and when they were designing the Viper, they sent the engine block to Lamborghini to say, hey, make this a sports car engine, because it was originally a truck motor. And they did a great job. You see, this one does even have some of that old carbon composite-y stuff that was kind of new and big in that time period. And just the chassis and everything on this, it really feels like a supercar or exotic Italian car for like none of the money. I think these trade around, I don't know with these miles, but I think it's like mid 40s, high 40s. You know, they kind of fluctuate. Sometimes they go up a little bit and then they kind of stay steady. I think people are kind of afraid of them, but I don't know why. It is still a daily drivable car. Let's go ahead and jump inside and I'll show you what I've done so far on the interior, and then we'll go for a ride. Easy to get in, get your nice Viper sill plate. Really, the build quality is way better than you would expect. Again, something it's kind of known for is that they feel cheap, but I really don't feel that is the case. First gens, yes, they are very Fisher-Price plastic, but everything in here, there's no shiny plastics, everything's in nice shape, it's not scratched up or anything like that, even after 20 years and now 52,000 miles. It looks and smells new in here, which is pretty amazing. Top's in great shape. These are some of the best seats in the business. They are so comfortable, and yet they still hug you in all the right places. You get your nice snake there. And it did have a snake shift knob that looked just like this one, and it was a little shorter, but I elected to get this one as a factory shift knob. But this is from a Mamba edition Viper, so it has the blue stitching here on the side, which I need to reclock that. I thought it would match the blue stripes, but I also installed a shifter lowering kit because the factory shifter sits, you know, like a couple inches higher than what I have it at now, and it's just kind of a strange feeling. So for I think it was like $50 part on eBay, you get a shifter lowering kit, and now I can adjust it to whatever height I want, which is really cool. And then I also took out the factory radio, and because it just had the normal push button radio, and added what's called an RB1, which was a Chrysler or Mopar's navigation radio of the time period that actually has like a screen, and added a Bluetooth module to it, because I never really liked the look or the sound of aftermarket radios, and this one has the nice amplified Alpine sound system. And then also in this time period, Mopar stuff had the rounded shape of the radio, and aftermarket ones look terrible. But this one is the best of both worlds. You know, all the lighting, everything matches, and yet you do get a little screen, and it just looks a little bit more classy. But that's it. That's all I've really done in here, and it is just nice and tidy. And now the suspense has been long enough, and I love the old school 2000s where you turn the ignition on, but you have a starter button. Just feels like an event every time you start the car. And with those side pipes, I mean, just listen. And that V10's lumpy and it's shaking you around. It's like a muscle car exotic all in one. So here you can see the Viper seats. They are leather with suede inserts that are in great shape. You get the Viper script on the back there, and these are even equipped for a racing harness if you wanted to pass those through. As we'll get to in the drive, it's a lot of fun. Jump on in. So here we are in the interior of my Viper, and it is quite snug, but it fits perfectly. I've got plenty of headroom. Everything is nice and happy. These even have adjustable pedals. You know, this is next level stuff to Viper owners of yesteryear, but nice aluminum pedals. You know, the spacing's great. You can heel toe very nicely. Got all the nice racy looking gauges here. I like the way they did the center stack of gauges here. Of course, in the middle is the tachometer, the most important, because the speed, that one just goes so fast you don't even need to pay attention to it. You got your oil pressure, oil temperature, which is important, and then water temperature. And this being a 3rd gen Viper does not overheat like 1st and 2nd gens. These actually have a cooling system that works. Again, going back to that it's just they just made it, they perfected the Viper, honestly. Here you've got just your corporate Chrysler buttons and switches, and while some people complain about that, I think that is awesome because it's easy to find parts and it doesn't break. It's just simple window switches, simple climate control, big knobs, manual controls. It is a wonderful thing. Yet you still have just whatever you need. Power windows, power mirrors, air conditioning, and the air conditioning is cold and puts out lots of air. So again, they perfected the Viper. And then the top, all you need to do to open is open the trunk and pull this one latch and throw it in the back and close the trunk. That's all there is to it. Super simple. When I was shopping for this, I was actually cross-shopping a Ferrari 360, which I love and enjoy also, but I knew with it being, an aging Italian car, and they're just, they're a little more finesse to them and a little more finicky. Whereas this, just a big, brute, simple, 6-speed manual transmission, no crazy F1 stuff, no hydraulics in the roof, and no belt service to do. It's all that stuff. It's just engine, chassis, and a lot of fun. Something about that muscle car shake and everything is just a feeling you don't get from much else. Like even Corvettes, a lot of time, they're pretty smooth and so forth, but this really gives you that sense of occasion and that noise. I have noticed also with the 600 or so miles I've put on this already, that top up or top down, the aerodynamics of it and like the wind buffeting and stuff is very minimal. You could tell they actually designed this to be a convertible. Whereas like the first gen Roadsters, man, like 40 miles an hour feels like you're going through it, because there's just air and wind everywhere. Your hair's getting tossed about. But this one just does not have that, but still has all the charm of a Viper and all the crazy. Look at that, I'm like 2,000 RPM, and it just puts you back in your seat. The shifter is super tight, even after 50,000 miles, which is a lot on an Italian exotic. Everything's still nice and tight, nothing's creaking, rattling. The gearing on this is just insane. Whereas first through fourth are pretty close together. Fifth and sixth are both overdrives, and it is a 0.5 overdrive in sixth. So at 60 here, I'm turning like 1,200 RPM. It's just cruising along and can still return, somewhat respectable fuel economy. And I'm just in this cocoon of comfy seat that's just hugging me in all the right places. And I can spend many, many miles behind the wheel. I would say one thing that really surprised me on this, especially coming out of early Vipers, are the brakes. They are like near carbon ceramic level strong. In 2005, I just don't even understand it. And the way it handles, the steering is so sharp, and the chassis responds immediately. I'm on a theme here, it's so much for the money. I'd just bought a bunch of Corvettes too, and drove them back to back, and this just feels light years ahead in every aspect. The clutch weight, grab point is perfect. Everything is right within reach. The shifter's perfect. It really is a great way to enjoy the automotive hobby and not having to worry about any big gotchas. You get some nice burbles off throttle. I actually did send out to get a tune file for this one, which I'm told will do like 30-40 wheel horsepower, which it doesn't need, but I am excited about it. Just listen to that noise. And for being a big displacement pushrod motor, you'd never know. And the way it revs and responds, easy rev matching, even down into first. Let's see if we can scare cameraman here. There's no interruption in power, having to build back up. It's just immediate as soon as you hit the pedal in the next gear. And that is something I have not experienced in any other car, in the way that it pulls in the next gear. Cameraman doesn't approve, not as a passenger. And when you have the top down or just even the windows open and you have that noise right at your ears. Well, we're coming into this 40 miles an hour, and it's just normal. And then here at 3,000 RPM, I darn near say my favorite car I've ever owned. Oh man. Now I need to take cameraman back to the shop because he's about to throw up. But you see the smile? Maybe not his, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I have tried to upset this car, but with 355 width Pilot Sport 4S's, even with all that torque under your right foot, it's not that easy. and the grip it has through corners, and just absolutely no body roll, no chassis flex being a convertible, even with the top down. It is just pure bliss. And again, I don't know why these are so underappreciated, but I'm glad they are because of what I bought this car for. Because this is, you know, fun from probably cars 3 times the money. It's one of those automotive cheat codes like I've talked about in other videos. Because service costs are nothing, and yet you get enjoyment that is on par with cars 3 times the price. Just have a listen to this. It being the fall, it even works great as a leaf blower. With the side pipes, you can blow off your driveway while having all the fun in the world. Like I said, all you have to do to open the top is open the trunk, which has a decent amount of space. I've got my book bag back here, and you got the nice Viper snake there. So it holds a couple things. You know, you could go for a weekend trip or something like that. And then you just either open the doors or crack the windows. And one handle, you throw it back, it latches in right here, you close the trunk, and you're done. No worry about the hydraulics failing, no worry about it folding in a bunch of different ways and something not working right. You just throw it back. So there it is, my 2005 Viper SRT-10. I've been loving it for the 600 miles I've put on it so far, and will continue to do so even at its 10 miles to the gallon under my right foot. I did manage to eke out 15 on this last tank, but this is one of those miles per gallon things, not miles per gallon. I'm not sure what's next for the Viper. I kind of made my personal touches. It doesn't need anything service-wise. I am waiting for my tune to show up, so stay tuned for that video of my reactions to tuning my Viper. If you can tell a difference with but I mean 30-40 wheel horsepower should be pretty noticeable, even on something that already has this much power. But I'm excited for that. You know, maybe some exhaust stuff later on, although it sounds like it has something on it. I will have to pull the whole side panels to see what's on there, and I'm not sure I want to do that because it doesn't need anything other than me to just keep putting all the miles on it. So if you like what you see here, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and let me know in the comments what I should do next with my Viper.